some CSS. Looking at the static version. Scroll down a bit. Sidebar. Here we go. And let's see how far it goes. Sidebar, sidebar. There's a whole bunch of stuff. All the way to sidebar sign out here. So I will select that all the way up to the very first rule with the class of sidebar. Copy that stuff to sidebar CSS. I'll paste that in, and I will paste that into Slack too, because that's enough stuff that it's a little hard to select.
So what hotkey was zooming out again?
On a Mac, it is Command plus, Command minus, Control plus and minus. Does that most places in Windows. Works in the browser too. Zoom in and out. Let's see it. Oh, much better. This is a reasonable size. Our plus button looks good. Check this out. Woo! And it doesn't just instantly switch, does it? It kind of fades in. Now, do you remember what that looked like before the style sheet? 2 images. So here's what we did there. I see you, Alex. Just a sec. Let's find these. So an image within a link within the sidebar. I put absolute positioning on it, and we won't get into absolute and relative positioning in too much detail right at the moment, but that has the effect of placing them one on top of the other. So I would only see one of them. But one of them, the second one, has a class of outline. And the second one's going to be the one that's covering up the other. Outline because it's the one that's outlined instead of filled in. Just a name I chose. So I add another rule that says an image with the class of outline that is inside an anchor that is being hovered over should have opacity set to 0. It should be transparent, which means the one underneath is going to be visible. So when you hover over the link, the image with the class of outline gets hidden, and the one underneath shows up. And then I had this transition property on this rule that basically said for opacity, any changes in opacity I want to do gradually. I want to do it over a quarter second. And this ease in out thing means don't do it at a uniform speed. Kind of speed up at the start and then slow down at the end. Now it all happens in a quarter second. So that's, pretty fast. If we change this to like 2 seconds, 10 seconds, sure. Then we can see. So let's hover over it real quick. Let's also make it nice and big. It's happening really slowly. Now it's happening a little faster, and then it's going to slow down again at the end. And same thing backwards. So now our sidebar looks the way we wanted it to look. Go us. Piece of cake. Style. Sidebar. So it is break time, and here's what I want you to do. Take your break, and then keep going and try to style the other two components. Note list, note form. Put the markup in, copied from the static version. Copy the CSS over, put it in the right CSS file, and see if you can get it to look like this. Cool?